Guys, these women are becoming more calculated when it comes to their desperate hunt of looking to secure a husband.
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
I didn't order an Uber.
We've got one now.
I'm good, bro.
Oh my fucking God! Get the hell in!
Tell your friends to pull up. Well, how do we feel about women flying out to AfroTech with the purpose of looking for husbands? Because apparently the men are in on it. Men know that women are doing that.
Oh yeah, they're aware. Oh no, I talked to some of the bros. They said, "Bro, it's whole apocalypse out here." The effectiveness and the efficiency of these hunters is crazy, and they're just waiting for what's coming to them. Check the economy, and it's looking good out here to be a tech guy.
Somebody commented, he's so glad that she decided to decenter male, the attention for males in her life. AfroTech is not cheap, right? AfroTech apparently is $800 for a ticket, correct?
Hi.
Aren't familiar with AfroTech. AfroTech is a conference that is essentially supposed to be like an amazing networking experience for Black people in tech to network, to catch vibes, to learn, to educate themselves, and to honestly be in the midst. And then apparently, it's also a great place for recruiters to recruit for tech jobs.
Whole new dynamic that has arisen is a result of the TikTok girlies. Because TikTok girlies came online to give girls tips. They were like, "Yo, like if you guys want these husbands, like there's a new hub, like there's a new hive." And then they're like, "Yeah, the tech guys are all there," and then they're basically chilling out in these suites and hunting these guys down. And these guys—
Now, ain't this something? The men that these women used to call lames and cornballs are now in, and they are the men that these women are chasing now.
Message is specifically for Black men and Black women who are interested in dating other Black men and Black women. Listen to me, I just did a talk at the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. Let me tell you something. This is the new dating strategy, all right? I need you to look up professional organizations, Black professional organizations. I need you to look up their annual and national conventions, and I need you to just show up. Show up. And I don't want to hear you talk about, ooh, that's being thirsty. You over here in a drought, and then you got the nerve to ask if it's bubbly or still. Shut up. All right? Show up.
I'm recording this during AfroTech weekend. And if you're not aware, AfroTech is this big conference put on by Blavity that gets together a lot of Black people in tech on paper for job opportunities and career growth. But what I have heard from a lot of the people that I know going to AfroTech is that they are going to AfroTech looking for a relationship. But I have to come on here and say that, like, I am so sad for the girlies that it's come to this. I want to be very clear with what I'm saying, and that's not that I'm saying that you shouldn't go anywhere being open to a relationship or whatever. But what I'm starting to see is this like over strategizing and over taking in all this content on like how to get a man, where to go to get a man, what to do to get this type of man. And it's becoming ridiculous. Like so many of my dinner conversations are about relationships. So many, like Sprinkle has been interwoven into my day-to-day life from TikTok, which mostly is a joke and like it's fine, but it's starting to not feel like a joke and it's starting to feel like a serious situation that I'm concerned about. This is not to say that I don't understand the struggles of women, especially of Black women who have everything that they're supposed to have on paper, but are still looking for a partner. But something that I've really internalized, especially this year, is that if you want to be the feminine in the relationship, you cannot strategize yourself into having a partner. Of the women around or above my age in happy relationships, sure, like if you just got lucky, met their high school or college sweetheart and just they were the one.
No, ma'am, that wasn't luck that they had. They did things the correct way. They met that man in high school and college, and they stuck by his side. They did not divorce him or leave him. They stayed with their man.
But the ones that have found these people around this age and are doing well and thriving in their relationships have one thing in common, and that's that they weren't focused on getting a relationship. They instead spent time getting clear on what they wanted out of life and what it looked like. And the person who was aligned with their vision that they took the time to define for themselves came into their life. I'm not going to say they weren't intentional about like where they spent their time, but they weren't doing these things that are just like borderline weird. And I have to tell you guys, the guys know, the men know when you're doing this stuff. They know when you're going to these tech or real estate or investment banking networking events and trying to date them. And they are grossed out by it. I'm grossed out by it. But the conversations that I've had with my high value male friends are also very grossed out by it because it emits this energy of like desperation.
I just want you to know, when I do find my husband, eventually, okay, because it's gonna happen. Maybe he's at AfroTech, maybe not. But you know, okay, so the reason why I think he's at AfroTech is because I talked to a psychic a couple months ago, and she was saying that I would find my husband, or she didn't say husband, she said person, but I'm gonna find my husband through work, like at like a work event or something. And I'm like, well, I don't have work events, so it must be a conference. And I know my husband is Black, so it has to be Black conference, AfroTech. You see what I mean? So anyways, when I do find my husband, I'm gonna be so obnoxious. I'm gonna be like, you see what happens when you like wait and you're like intentional about dating. Meanwhile, y'all been watching me swipe on Tinder for the past 2 years. Anyways, do as I say, not as I do.
Was AfroTech worth it? Well, I guess it depends on why you went. As a former tech girly, I've considered getting back into tech, and as a beauty content creator, I figured it would be a great opportunity to meet a lot of great women and men. I've heard some people talk about the positives and negatives of women going there to meet their husbands, and I honestly feel that if you go to an event with the open mind of just meeting people who are like-minded, then you'll just have a positive experience overall.
And this is just another example of the fact that men are the prize. Women are paying $800 to go out to these conferences to look for a man to marry them.
So another reflection that I learned this past week is know what your purpose is when going into these situations. And I say that because there's been a lot of talk about how the AfroTech tickets were really expensive. And a lot of people are just going because they're influencers or they're trying to find a husband and or wife.
Let me just start out with this. Like, AfroTech is always fun. It's always a good time. I had so much freaking fun. Probably a little too much fun. I done came back with COVID. I got pink eye in both eyes. And something else. I done forgot what the hell is. Child, too much fun. So good. Last year when I came back, I was sick as hell too. But it was so much fun. But as far as the Singles Mixer event, the ratio of like women to men was definitely off. There was a lot more women than men. And Courtney Futch, who was the creator of the event, she actually released a video yesterday on her TikTok and Instagram, just kind of like detailing like what happened, like that was going on kind of behind the scenes or whatever. And people were definitely upset about the ratio. Like me, not. Listen, this was practice. I haven't dated nobody in 5 years. I wanted to just try to like talk to people, meet people, like men and women, you know, just to make connections. It don't have to be romantic or nothing like that.
But all in all, it's good to see these women finally working and going after the men that they want.
This girl wanted a rich and attractive husband, so she went on LinkedIn and found guys with impressive job titles at tech companies. Once she found a guy who was cute and rich enough for her, she went to his other social media pages and found out what his dad did for a living. Once she found out that the dad taught pottery at a local art studio, she signed up for his 10-week class. Throughout the 10-week class, she's dropping breadcrumbs to other students and the teacher about what kind of guy she's looking for in a long-term relationship. All she did was go to the son's social media page and list out all of his hobbies and say, I'd love to find somebody who does all of these things and has a great job in tech. The dad obviously overhears all of this and is like, oh my gosh, I have a single son who would be perfect for this girl. So the dad called her over after class one night and says, hey, I don't want this to be weird, but if you want to go on a blind date with my son, I'd be happy to ask him to see if he would go out. She's elated, but she keeps her poker face on and is like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Why don't you set us up for some drinks? They go on a date and they are vibing. He thinks he found his dream girl and she knows that she found what she wanted because she plucked them off the internet. From what I know, he is about to propose to her, which means she is weeks away from realizing her dream of sitting out by the pool all day while he goes clickety-clack on a keyboard at work all day, bringing home that money.
Wow. If you're talking about scoping out your target, my goodness, these women are flying out to these black events looking for high-value men that work in tech. The same men that they should have got with and stayed with in high school and in college. So they wouldn't be in this situation now where they got to go chase these men back down, because a lot of them missed out on their opportunity when they was younger. Now that's all I got in this video. You guys drop a comment down below and let me know what you think about these women going into dating looking for a new husband with a better strategy, I guess. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.